Welcome, Halo fans. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm tackling Master Chief. Seems appropriate since 343 and Microsoft just released gameplay footage of the upcoming Halo Infinite. Now, subconsciously, the last two videos I've produced feature characters I've never drawn before, and this video is no exception. Just an interesting observation on my part. To be honest, I find Master Chief to be a daunting challenge because I rarely draw armor. And Master Chief's armor is complex because of all the high-tech stuff that's featured on the armor, and I want to get it right. Nonetheless, this piece turned out great because I employed my patented, world-famous 5 Illustrator commandments. And they are: 1. Do not begin drawing without a reference. 2. Do not begin drawing without an effective line of action. 3. Do not begin line art until an effective pose has been established. 4. Do not begin drawing without using a perspective grid. And 5. Don't be precious about your work so you can get it done and show the world. Now, I'm sure you've noticed in this piece, I didn't show the first 2 steps because I was recording it, but somehow it just didn't capture, it just didn't save. But I did use those first rules to establish my pose, line of action, and perspective. Now, following these commandments, I'm really glad with the way this piece turned out. You'll see come the end of the video. Now, I'm a big fan of Halo. I love the worlds, the aesthetic, the music, the gameplay, and the lore. My favorite Halo game is the very first one, Combat Evolved. I remember many nights back in my university days playing with my then buddies. And I recall pistol-only matches or just using the sniper rifle. I remember many nights back in my university days playing with my then buddies where we would have just only pistol matches or just sniper rifles and huge vast levels. There are just so many iconic things about that first Halo entry. I think it's because of that experience that I've come to love using only pistols in games like MGS5 and Splinter Cell. So I'm right there with you, my friends. We will be fighting shoulder to shoulder when the Covenant invade and the Flood overrun our streets. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who does this, but I love watching Halo cutscenes as though they're movies. Shout out to Little Playground. I posted a link to one of my favorite videos in the description below. They've got a lot of great Halo content, especially since those cutscenes are all we have with regard to Halo content that's almost feature length. Now, there are a few dedicated Halo stories out there, but I find them to be, I call them Halo Light, since they only take place in the world but don't actually feature Spartans or the Master Chief exclusively. Now, not too long ago, Neil Blomkamp was slated to direct a Halo movie produced by Peter Jackson, which is a match made in heaven. The most that came out of this was a series of shorts which are nothing short of spectacular. I love the grounded yet effects-heavy style of Neil Blomkamp. That man has got mad VFX skills. I'm always impressed with the way he melds effects and live action. His style is a perfect fit for the IP, as you know if you've seen the shorts I'm talking about. If not, look him up. It's seemingly strange how things work out in Hollywood when a movie goes into development. I say seemingly because it isn't strange at all when you think about it, because movies are fracking hard to make. There are so many moving parts, so many people to please. In Halo's case, the producers, Microsoft, and probably toughest of all, the fans. Moreover, just imagine trying to realize something as big and cherished and as well known as Halo. The weight of that particular responsibility must be crushing. So it's not that strange when you hear a movie has gone into development but then gets abandoned for some unknown reason, because a movie, good or bad, is kind of a miracle. It's this amalgamation of will, coincidence, luck, logistics, and a whole bunch of money that belongs to someone else, or in some cases, belongs to the filmmaker themselves. But I know we will get a Halo movie at some point, because the MCU has shown us that anything can be realized in a movie. And Halo, in my opinion, is way more grounded than a lot of craziness produced in the MCU. So I'm sure we'll be getting a movie, a series of movies at that. You know, you gotta make that shared universe money. It's the way to go these days. And it doesn't even have to be great to succeed. Just ask the DCEU. It just can't be as bad as The Mummy, and the Dark Universe. I'm also pretty confident that people will watch a bad Halo movie. I would watch a bad Halo movie. To reinforce that point, just recently I rewatched the latest installment of Hellboy, the reboot, which is an absolute snooze fest compared to the Guillermo del Toro series of movies. But I just wanted to consume some Hellboy media, and I had a good time, even though the movie is pretty bad. Now, I'm excited for Halo Infinite. The gameplay looks great. It feels like Doom with regards to the way different enemies have an ideal way to deal with them, which isn't a big surprise because Combat Evolved was influenced by Doom and Quake back in the day. For instance, in the footage released by Microsoft in 343, during the sequence where the brutes get dropped in from in front of Master Chief, I noticed the player started shooting at the knees and the brutes stumbled. Then he finished them off with a melee. I think that's great. And this kind of strategic gameplay seems to be everywhere in the gameplay loop. The story seems tight because it seems like it's going to revolve around one Halo ring, Master Chief, and the pilot. So that's a great sign. Halo doesn't have to span a bunch of planets to be epic. Keep it tight. Now, something that stood out was the graphics. Everyone's been talking about this. The Act-Man has a great video out that delves deep into the footage, and he also talks about the lackluster graphics, so check that out. I posted a link in the description below. Some folks are also saying not to worry, it's just a demo that looks like this, so we'll see. Nonetheless, I'm excited to play the game. So far, right when I was preparing this video, writing the script, I wrote a description as to what I was going to do on the bus on my way back from work, and I wrote, the piece will feature Master Chief sporting his new grappling hook, which you can see it here in the sketch, but I totally forgot to render it in in the final piece, in the final version. So in my notes I wrote, the piece will feature Master Chief sporting his new grappling hook, falling upon Covenant soldiers with the bad guy in the background. And I also wrote, research Halo color themes and a pose. But the pose I came up with myself. I just kind of figured that out. And I think that kind of thing comes easier with experience. And there was a time, I think I spent a whole year working on posing characters, because being able to draw is just not enough. You have to know what to draw, right, and how to pose. And a great resource that could help anybody out there with that is Stan Lee's Drawing the Marvel Way. There's a bunch of old school videos. They're pretty fun to watch, and that'll help you with poses. So with this, it was pretty straightforward. I wanted to show Master Chief using the signature rifle, and it doesn't really quite seem like it in the piece because it's pretty sketchy, but it feels like the rifle. It's good enough for me. And shooting down a bunch of grunts and having the bad guy in the background. And I'm sure you noticed while I was drawing this piece that I practically traced the bad guy. I wasn't gonna try to draw that from my mind or from memory. And it's pretty complex, and I wanted to just do a simple version of it to evoke a mood, and I think it worked. Now, Halo fans, this piece is available on t-shirts at my store. The link is down in the description. It will add style to your wardrobe or make for a perfect gift for a Halo fan, so visit my store and get yours now. I'm still hard at work on my comic book, but I've pushed the release date to the middle of August because I still have some inking and a lot of lettering to do. Its release has been postponed because I have a job and it's tiring, so I haven't been able to produce pages as much as I would like. But it's coming, and I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted on how it's working out. Now, saying I'm a tiny channel is beyond hilarious because I make small channels look like established networks. So if you enjoyed the video and feel my art tips help you in your artistic goals, please like and subscribe. I love making these videos. It's such a great release, especially after working a job that is mostly physical. So I'm really glad with the way this piece turned out. And I hope you guys like it. Once again, it's available on t-shirts at my store, so please visit the link below. So that's it for this video. There's another one coming out this Sunday, and I'm not quite sure what it's going to be about. I have something ready, but we'll see. I'm keeping my finger on the nerve. I'm listening to what's going on, and it just kind of came to me when I saw the hype surrounding the new Halo footage that, hey, why not do a Master Chief fan piece? So we'll see what happens between now and Sunday. But other than that, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in my next one coming out this Sunday. So please stay tuned. Peace.